Hello there, I'm Colleen Coles and I'm live here in this awesome group, and I just want to share a really cool tidbit that I know of and has radically helped me change my life. My name is Colleen. I'm a purpose alignment coach, but I help women really own their sexuality and self-expression through that, as well as live out their purpose through removing any blocks out of the way. And so for a long time for me, the whole aspect of sexuality was something that was kind of a damper. It didn't feel very fulfilling for me. And then at the same time, I also had a really hard problem with being able to truly speak up. You know, I was always a really bubbly person, could really express myself just with friends, but when it came to speaking out against somebody who I thought was cooler than me, or to my own parents, or anyone who I wanted their approval, I always shut down. And I didn't realize until I started studying Tantra that there is an immense connection between our ability to express ourselves through our sexuality and also our ability to speak our truth. So if this is an issue that you've had in your life, whether it's something about having a satisfying sexual life, having a stable relationship, or even getting clarity on what you'd love to do with your life. Maybe you have an inkling of what your personal purpose is, or a vision for maybe setting up a nonprofit or whatever the case may be, but you're not doing it, right? This is why. And so if you're watching this live, I want to hear from you. Write in the comments who you are and that you're watching even live or the replay, just because I want to make sure I connect with you. So let's go ahead and dive in. Now, I remember the first time when I really owned speaking my truth. And it was one of the scarier times, and it related to money as well. So if you've studied sexuality, if you studied the chakras, all of that stuff is in our root chakra, right? The survival, the money, grounding, rooted, also in those lower chakras is our sexuality, right? And so if we can't allow that energy to rise up, even to like the next closest chakra, let alone all the way through our body, we're going to have a hard time expressing all parts of ourselves, because the truth is, how we do one thing is how we do everything. And so if you're limiting your power within your money or speaking up for yourself, or in your sexuality and what's okay or what's not, you're also limiting your ability to see your own vision. To see your own vision for your purpose of what you want, hearing your own clarity in your voice, that type of thing. It all relates together, because all that energy from our root can come up to our whole chakra system and go around rather than just staying put. And so for me, just as a little background, I grew up thinking that if I waited till marriage, I would be riding off into the sunset. I would experience real love, I would never get a divorce, and sexuality would be like the coolest thing in the world because I finally waited and like popped open. Well, it didn't quite work like that, and in fact, once I did get married, it was really hard to just express and accept sexuality as part of my life. I felt super shut down, and it was because all other times in my dating world, I had to shut it down. There's always this big red stop sign in my head that said, like, blinking red, anytime I just started feeling pleasure. And so what happened? As soon as I even let myself have permission to have sex, that same red light came up. And what I even noticed too was anytime I felt like I was getting pleasure in my money, something would happen that would bring me back down. Or if I even got clarity around what I wanted to do and speaking up to express it in the world, something would bring me back down. And again, it's all related. And I'll never forget the moment where I finally spoke my truth, okay? And then I'm gonna go into how this works and how you can do it too. I remember so Tamsin Reeby is here. Great explanation. Thanks, Tamsin. What a fun name that is. Okay, so I remember I was 23. I moved from Arizona across the country to Virginia, all on my own, and I was working at the melting pot. And it's this place where you have fondue, and afterwards you smell like cheese, and it's not even that great a restaurant. But anyway, so I remember I had been working there for a while. I also started teaching elementary ed, and by the time I felt like 6 months in, I really deserved a raise. I knew the wine, I knew the cheese, and I was even in a professional career too, where if I wanted to stay, I was like, I want to make more money. And every time I got close to saying, hey, I want to make $5 an hour instead of $2 an hour because I think I'm worth it, every time I just shut down. Have you ever been in that situation? Like, you need to talk to somebody. You want to know, you want to express yourself. You just want to tell them what's up. And then you get stuck. You don't do it. You tell yourself, well, now's not the right time, right? But in fact, then you keep thinking about it over and over and over and analyzing it and all this crappy stuff. So finally, the day came where I started getting real and I started really praying and even using my intuitive gifts, which now I'm very clear on what those are. But at the time, I was just learning and exploring what those are. One of which is that I see angel light. So basically, when angels or energetic beings of a higher frequency cross through our own atmosphere, sometimes that change in frequency can cause a light. And it can sometimes be like blue, pink, green, but it's like a little flash of a light, kind of like when you see a little sparkle and you look and it's not there. It's kind of like when it's there. I even got my eyes checked because a doctor told me to, and I told him. I found out later. So it's these angel lights, right? And whenever I see them, it's kind of like a thumbs up from the universe. So Michael, Archangel Michael, is the blue light. He's like this blue light. And I remember finally getting clear with my angels, like really feeling like I need to say this now. The pressure was building, right? Like sexual pressure, like it's building up. And finally, it was at the end of the shift. The guy, Derek, he's like this bald guy, slick hair, you know, just kind of sleazy, but, you know, nice-ish. And I finally go up to him and I'm about to leave. And I'm just like, Derek, I feel like if I want to keep working here, I'll need a raise. And so I know I've completed all of these certifications for wine. I know I'm teaching as well. And so I'd like to ask for $5 instead of $2 an hour. And in that moment, it was as if this light bulb literally right in front of his face went off in this blue light. And for the first time ever, I could hear it crackle. You know those old photography cameras like in the 40s when they actually have a light bulb in and you'd hear it click and it would like burst the light bulb, that sound? That's what I heard and even saw in front of his face as soon as I spoke my truth, as soon as I let myself be heard. All of a sudden, this blue Archangel Michael light went pop right in front of his face. And guess what Derek said? He said, yeah, you know what? I understand, and let's go get your paperwork done. And that was it. Bam. So why was it so hard for me? Please relate this to yourself. Why is it so hard to just speak our truth, right? And like, let it out. When have you felt stifled? When have you felt it's not okay to be who you are, or even say what you mean, or say what you want in a group of women, or to your man, or in your job? Like what? Maybe even to yourself. All of it relates because how we do one thing is how we do everything. So if you can't speak up or even own your own power of expression in one area, it will be very hard, if not impossible, to hear your own intuitive gifts, to hear your own purpose and clarity, your own inner voice. And so what I just want to share is how that energy relates. Because instead of basically, I remember my own Tantra teacher talked about this with people just like who I was, and it made so much sense. We have all this sexual energy right here, right there, and sometimes it can feel hard to even have an orgasm, right? But instead of focusing so much on that orgasm, if it's you who feels like you can't say what you even want in bed, you can't even say what you even want for lunch, right? You can't tell your husband what you want. It's hard to speak up at your job. That is actually your main priority. And so instead of building that sexual energy down into your groin, lifting it up and ejaculating through your voice. That looks like speaking your truth. That looks like freedom. And once you can do that, you can start having it in bed, you can start having it in your mind, in your insight, and you can have it in your life because you're putting yourself as number one. Let me know if that makes sense. But the reason I'm sharing that is because it can be, I'm going to take a breather, hold on. It can be so confusing when we don't have what we want in life, right? It can be so frustrating when we feel like everybody else is happy, why aren't I? Right? Maybe for you, you have like the F word on your lips going into work and parking your car because everybody else is happy and you're not. Or maybe because you're in a relationship that you don't even really know what's going on, but you don't know what else to do, so you stick in it. Like, all of this stuff is related. And so what I do and help with my own intuitive gifts is give the tools to see the energy blocks where you actually are getting stifled. And not only that, I help you really know what action specifically for you need to take in order to be able to break through, to speak your truth, to own what you want, and to start actually living in clarity because of that self-expression. So many times I've met clients who just said, I don't know what I want. I don't know what to do. But the more that we just allow it to move forth, give it space to be born, they actually really know. But the hard part is about giving it the space, having the clarity, and it's all related. So Tamsin says, makes so much sense, and again, really helpful how you explained it. Thanks. You are welcome. And so if this is helpful, what I just want to share is what I can do with you, and if this is an issue, like, reach out, private message me now, and just say, I'm in, I want to know more, let's talk. Because what I focus on is 4 things in my work. I use my intuitive gifts to actually look and see and physically feel where you are blocked in your energy centers. And the clarity around that is phenomenal because not only will you bust through that block, you then allow your own internal light to shine forth because the truth is you already are enough. You already have everything you need. And when you're connected to your own higher source with the energy that's even moving your body, the light, that's when you're really unstoppable. And so it just takes getting rid of those blocks. Okay, that's what I can do with you, for you, and even teach you the tools so that you can do it on your own. The second thing is about knowing where you even have that shame of speaking up. Where did that come from, right? There is something of a wound that you've experienced, and I know I had, and I had to really look deep and have a mentor to show it to me. But that place of shame comes from somewhere. And so when we go deep and discover where that was, what happened, and again, resolve it, shift the energy, all of a sudden you're not operating from fear anymore, or from thinking that you're going to get in trouble for just being who you are, or for asking what you want, or being too big, beautiful, too bold, whatever the case may be. Without that shame in the way, all of a sudden your intuition starts to speak up because you start to speak up. And so the third part of what I do in my work is, the vision piece. Purpose, vision, even if it means like I want to be in a stable relationship, great, because it all relates. So purpose and what I talk about is just owning your dream, owning what it is you want to do in the world, whether that's starting a nonprofit and helping dogs get adopted, or maybe getting your PhD in French, you know, whatever the case may be, getting clear on your vision and knowing exactly what actions to take to start moving forward in it in an inspired way. So that's number 3, that clarity, that connection that's there for you and that purpose. It's meant for you. We just got to get some of the other blocks out of the way and give it space to breathe. And finally, the 4th aspect of what I do with the people who I serve is incorporate Tantra into your life. And so what that looks like is kind of like what we've been talking about here. Knowing the connection energetically in your body between your sexuality, your mentality, and your spirituality. And letting that come through your body so that you can feel juicy and lit up about everything you do on the planet and totally supported by the universe in the meantime. How cool is that? You'll use the tools, the meditations, the understanding of Tantra as the yoga of spiritual sexuality to guide you in your life, heal past wounds, and just really own your rocket fuel power within your sexual body to ricochet out into your whole life. That then gives the whole aspect of you, your vision, your purpose, your relationships, so much more room to breathe and grow and expand and explode. Ha! So awesome. So if that is you, of something that you are more interested in, please do private message me right now. There's 4 slots available right now for this new program that is just gonna blow your mind, and I can't wait to blow yours. So all the process is just private messaging me. I will send you an application to see if you're the right fit for this program, and then we will hop on a call from there. So if you're ready to really explode in your life, live out your purpose, own your sexuality, your power, your voice, and even have that be so much more juicy in your relationships too, contact me, because I want to help you express your truth and own your power. So much love to you. Thank you for watching, and namaste.